Mike's what?
I'm currently sitting through an ad, so I won't be able to hear right away. But yeah.
All right. Mike's going to be hot in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Season 15 Losers Bracket here in the Ionia Division. I'm VerdantChaos, and I'm joined by Abba Trombone. Say hi, Abba.
Hey, how's it going here? Excited for this. This is going to be into the quarterfinals, whoever ends up winning this. So high stakes for this matchup.
So right now we're just going to be seeing some kind of respect bans going over to Edan, getting rid of that Rakan. He's been seen on that Rakan quite often. Macau, that Udyr are going to be going away, but Rel quite strong. This is 13.12, so not as good as it used to be. But Kai'Sa just got a new buff where then effectively it'll increase her scaling. So then instead of spiking at the 11 as she has done in the past few patches, she's going to be spiking at 9. So I think that Kai'Sa has potential to be a very strong pick this particular patch.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying she was going to be really strong with the Mythic rework just because of how she worked with Rage Blade. But then she saw very little play. There was just other AD carries that were super dominant, and it looks like she's come back for this recent update. So I'm very excited to see her rather than the standard Stormrazor win game sort of AD carry here. And look at this, man. This is like way back when like Xayah and Kai'Sa first came out. You just saw a lot of Kai'Sa, Xayah bot lanes, just chilling, trying to scale stuff up. And there's Yuumi potentially being grabbed. So we're going to get a throwback to some older League of Legends, though it might look a little different. Unless this Nautilus get picked. It's a little different.
Yeah, I think Nautilus is and has shown pretty good stats so far. I mean, obviously sample size of a single day for Nautilus so far. It wasn't changed too much, but with a lot of the enchanters like Lulu and Milio getting an armor nerf, they're kind of more susceptible to Nautilus. So I think that it's going to maybe potentially start forcing Lulu and Milio to really have to face the music and not be able to face some of these engaged supports.
Yeah, especially if you're able to pick off those enchanters pretty quick. Of course, they're not the ones doing the damage, but there's zero peel for these AD carries. And that's where some of the damage comes from, too, like with Lulu Kog'Maw. A lot of that damage ends up coming through Lulu early on just because you get so many procs off of Kog'Maw's attack speed.
Yeah, that and with the augmentation of Pix. But Pix is going to be having reduced 6 damage at all levels. But still, for the most part, I mean, it went from, I think it was like 9 it's like 15 down to 9. So I mean
something like that. Yeah. There's this Milio pick we've been talking about ever since his release. We've been saying Engage has typically been the counter to Milio. If you're able to just pick them off, you don't get as much value. And Kai'Sa and Xayah are both short range AD carries. So once they're in that threat range, it's going to be quite potent. Usually the way to deal with Engage is a lot of poke, which Milio, Kai'Sa can't necessarily do a whole lot. Kai'Sa just wants some nice short trades, which makes things kind of awkward here, especially with like the Nautilus and the Mumu. Milio can't cleanse that knockup from depth charge. Of course, they can stop the bandage and the hook that comes from both of these champions. But there's just so much layered CC. Sure, you get rid of one, but there's so much more. Not to mention the feather pull that Xayah is going to have after this. So this is really going to change this draft.
Yeah, at this point in time, I mean, we're seeing just a lot of CC on the side of Mythic. And also Xayah. Xayah is obviously innately safer than most other champions. But with a lot of this CC, Xayah is going to be able to keep her feathers approximately in the same area. So she's going to be more effective in this particular comp so far. And I think the Malphite ban is a very good option, considering that we don't, I mean, we only have Milio so far for peel because J4 is mostly just going to be used for engage. So Kai'Sa is going to be very susceptible, and I think Mordekaiser is another good one, just be able to have all of our teammates actively in the fight. So
yeah, with Kai'Sa, you can play front to back, or you can do some, flanking on your own. But with Nautilus, some Mumu, Xayah, it's going to be very difficult to do that. Lots of disengage and peeling tools there. So she's going to have to play things very carefully, front to back, and hopefully there's some other range champions that can help buffer things, because it's going to get even harder to get into range with Victor. Major Laser is going to be able to anti-gravity field you, laser you to just kind of chunk you out as well. It can make things a a little bit more awkward for her as well, even with the range increase that Milio might be trying to provide.
So an important thing to notice, to note at this current, I think, I'm gonna say Asol wouldn't be bad here because Singularity would really be a great deterrent for a Mumu Nautilus, and also you kind of space out with that champion, and then you just kind of handshake mid lane against Victor. Victor will kind of still win just because poke, but Silas has some good options for steals.
Yeah,
so
I like Silas. There's a lot of good ultimates to steal. I don't think there's a single bad one other than maybe Xayah, because you just don't have the feathers to steal from it. There's no interaction, but all the other ones are fantastic, right? And even if you're able to just pick off the Xayah, like, cool, you don't necessarily need to be there for ultimate. You got your pick. This is like half the damage from the team. It's just Xayah and Victor right now. Shen, I kind of like this option, being able to potentially provide a large shield for anyone that's being all in post level 6, of course, and potentially peel for them as well. Silas also pretty much like an AP bruiser, and they have another bruiser for a jungler who can also really help things out here. Cassante, I think, is an interesting pick. Could get a lot of value here. Could potentially interrupt Stand United, and it looks like it's locked in. So if he's able to get that CC, he can prevent Shen from moving, but that shield will still go through, which is a pretty crucial part to his ultimate that might be enough to save people, but could make things a little bit more difficult as well for anyone trying to engage and or peel for their team.
So I think an important thing to note at this time, this is gonna be like Poison Panthers obviously has like it kind of a front to back kind of style that wants to protect Kai'Sa at the end of the day. Obviously, Kai'Sa is able to eventually wear her way down through the tanks, but they are not going to be able to die. Like they do have like Silas, Shen, and J4. They're not going to be able to dive into a Xayah. Like the only option you can go, because Xayah just has the Featherstorm, but then Victor is the only Victor, I guess, is like the only target, but he's going to be having accelerated move speed with the passive. So I think this is going to be a tough game for Poison Panthers. So I think they just need to pick their fights.
Super awkward, right? Like Jarvan can flag and drag in, but then you have a Nautilus, a Mumu, a Cassante. Like everyone's got their own self-kill tools along with their entire team with all the engage that it has. Silas, not very large range. Shen's dash isn't super very far. So your big playmaking tool is your flash and dash. And that's kind of awkward because if your team can't follow up because of all the other CC that's going through, also make things super awkward. Kai'Sa could potentially reposition with her ultimate as well. But if the depth charge is on her, she might end up doing more harm than good, knocking off her team.
So just initial thoughts, who do you think has the distinct advantage in this draft?
I would say Mythic Ascension. They have better scaling and they have better tools.
Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree. I mean, obviously J4 can set some early tempo along with Shen. They really, really are driving to finish this game in the mid game state. But if we start getting a little bit past that, I believe Kai'Sa gets outscaled by.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Xayah outscales Kai'Sa. Now, one of the big things you want to consider for game states like this, especially when there's a mid-game composition, it's how the laning phase is going to go for everyone. Of course, bot lane is going to be favoring Mythic Ascension because they have this engage versus the Milio that we've talked about a whole lot. Silas versus Victor, it could be a little bit of a toss-up, but I believe it favors Silas slightly, and then Cassante versus Shen, it's probably just going to be some dudes beating at each other.
Yeah, I mean, in this top side, Shen's going to be winning, obviously, like that pre-6 state. Shen's very strong at that point in time, does a lot of adaptive damage. But once you start getting past some of those later stages, Cassante even then just beats him up. Pretty soundly. So right now, I think a lot of this is going to be going into Locos into Rooney's hands.
Yeah, those are going to be pretty pretty important players in this matchup. And we'll have to see if these Drake timers are going to be changing. I know for the last few sets that we've been seeing like Drakes between like the 6 and 7 minute mark, or maybe 8 for the later ones. People trying to get the Soul win condition online. I haven't been seeing as many early Shelly plays, so we'll have to see if Poison Panthers goes for any of those plays on a little bit earlier, as they want to win by the mid game. Getting some early towers can be quite helpful, but so can be just getting that dragon pressure as well. If you can force fights out where you have the stronger composition at that stage in the game, you can really push a gold lead to secure a game.
So, what do you think would be a better win condition for the side of Mythic Ascension? Just let some of those early dragons go and then just play for time and scaling, or do you want to look for that Shelly, or how do you want to play this out for Mythic?
For some of these closer lane matchups, or where they're ahead, if they can create a pretty decent lead there, this is going to be a good anchor point for them in the mid game, right? Let's say Xayah is like 1,000 gold or something ahead of Kai'Sa by the end of the landing phase. That's almost a Noon Quiver's worth of gold right there that can really help push things out and make these fights a little bit better. Or maybe Victor gets that little bit of an edge, so it's more of an even matchup versus Sylas. So Sylas's strength won't be as large as it would normally, making it more difficult to close out the game. Of course, objectives can also close this out, but it's very game state dependent. I think Mythic can challenge some of these, with a caveat that they have to get some pretty good wave clear, as well as some good back timers, and they have all the tools they need to try and get a pick or set up for that, provided they get that vision because of the wave states I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, I would argue that they do have very good wave clear. With the Victor, like he's very, very efficient with that. Yeah. With the I'm forgetting the name of the laser right now. It's like Hextech laser, something of that nature. But with that, you're just able to insta clear the back line with Lost Chapter. Then you're able to just get the second proc of that. So I think Victor will be able to help with that D push in some of those moments. Also, Cassante having a lot of AoE in the earlier portions is just going to be buoying him through some of these options. And I don't think you can really set up for like a potential split push from Shen, just because Cassante pushes much faster. I think the only way you can maybe draw Cassante's attention away is with a Tiamat.
Yeah, I would think. Cassante can stop Shen's split push pretty well as well, because like the big playmaking tool is to use Stand United, and Cassante can stop that. He's got CC and can duel him once he gets into some of the later stages of the game. Once he gets those big mythic power spikes, and the second item as well, can try and fight things out. I mean, Shen strong in the early game, so won't be able to do it super early, but you're not split pushing then.
So a thing to kind of consider: who do you think has the better bot lane? Because Kai'Sa obviously getting the new buff, but do you think that will be enough to kind of help and kind of assist her through this lane, or do you think that the Milio Nautilus matchup is going to be a little bit too rough for Milio?
I think it can be a little bit rough there. They're going to have some range advantage and some poke. Xayah is just going to naturally have more range. Of course, Kai'Sa's W outranges this, but it's slow. It's 20 seconds. It eats up a lot of mana. Versus Xayah's abilities can go through waves to do some poke here as well. And Nautilus can just turn at any point. So that's a big threat to keep things in mind, which can make things dangerous for Milio. Not to mention, Xayah Wave Clear is slightly better. Although she does do reduced damage to minions with her Feather Pull, it's still pretty decent wave clear versus Kai'Sa's Ithacan Rain, which the damage gets split up the more and more minions you add.
Well, we have this to consider, but we are going to be getting into this game one. We are going to be back after a short commercial break. Grab a friend, grab some drinks, grab some popcorn. We'll see you soon back on the Rift with game one. Hello, everyone. We are back. The spectator bot completely died out, so I'm sorry, but we get to start at the 4-minute and 45-second mark. So we missed a lot of our early game. There's only been one kill so far, and that was Silas on to Baguette here in the mid lane. But right now we have a CS lead for Kaisa in the bot lane, already having a noon quiver at under 3. What was going on there? Okay, already at this 5-minute mark. So going to be doing a great job there.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a 1v1 situation in the mid lane here. Baguette getting chunked out even more, but able to play safe through that anti-gravity field, like you mentioned before. CS leads relatively similar, slight lead into the bot lane here, and of course, there's that kill lead in the mid lane we mentioned. We'll have to see if some of these early win conditions are going to come to fruition. Still about a 300 to 400 gold difference, which is just that first blood, so it's still anyone's game at this stage.
Any interesting keystones or summoners that you want to make mention of at this time?
I think it's worth mentioning both top laners went grasp. It's not necessarily unique, but it just emphasizes they want to go for short plays. But hold this phone at all in. No ignite needed for Taruni. Just able to secure that because of Mako's all in flag and drag. The vision, because of that control word, really enabled that. And getting those extra stacks in the Dark Seal is going to be so important. But getting back to that interaction I was talking about before, it's not the same in the mid lane. We want short trades versus a short poke because of the summon area that Baguette has.
The anchor line is going to be missed, but then they're also going to be spotting out that Amumu off of that just spare Kaisa W. So,
yeah,
honestly, a very good turn of events for the bot lane for Poisonous Panthers here. Second anchor line missed. But an important thing to note, in this bot lane, they have Ghost Ignite on Mythic. But will they be able to get out of this? That's going to be Flash coming in through. Macau going to get the knockup on Bino. Bino could be in trouble. Will he be going down? Loco's going to be unable to get the pickup yet. Bino could still be. Macau is burning alive, and Tupe is going to be getting that first pickup. They're trying to put some damage onto Jeffrey. Now they have mid laners kind of rotating down. Okay, nothing more is going to be coming of that. Well, what an absolute turnaround of that play. It looked quite dire at the beginning, but Baguette just going to get solo bolo. This is Taruni on a killing spree.
Yeah, just the ignite plus the electrocute, stealing the ultimate that comes through him as well. The Chaos Storm was more than enough. Going back to that bot lane, Flash was still used by Mako. Made things so potent. But it looks like the play might continue on.
That's going to be Jeremy flashing in here. That's going to be catching Edan. Edan could be in trouble. Going to be trying to walk away from this play. That's going to be another bandage toss coming through. That's Flash coming out. Is Tupe going to be going down? That's Tupe flashing away, unable to get away. Loco's going to be getting the pickup now. Loco's going to be going down over to the Amumu. Jeremy going to get that pickup. But Jeremy's quite low, has little to no mana. But is going to be trying to shove in this lane to the best of their ability.
Yeah. Everything coming through there. Everyone was super low, so getting that pickup. They're pretty important. 4-2 is the scoreboard right now. Okay. No fight's going to be happening to the top side. Just trading some wet noodle blows there. But not that long ago, I was talking about, about a 400 goal difference because of that first blood. Now, scoreboard has changed a lot from 1-0 to 4-2, and we're already seeing this gold lead favoring the blue side here, the PP, the Poison Panthers.
Right now, Loco and Edan are going to be trying to get some of this damage out, but right now, Loco just went for trying to get to what I believe is going to be a Storm Razor versus Tupe, which kind of opted to go for the dagger option instead of trying to go for the crit cloak. But that, honestly, I think was forced by the CS difference.
Well, fortunately, Kaisa's kit has a lot of auto cancels in it. So.
Ooh, Bino's in trouble here. Just pushed right into the team. Macau's just going to be getting that grab. Taruni on a killing spree.
Yeah.
Having 4 at this point.
Well, he also got the ultimate as well from our little favorite cursed mummy here. Curse of the Sad Mummy. And that's just going to enable him even more for all these all-in potentials here as well. Yeah, Like I said. Just like I said. Oops, I have 5 kills at 9 minutes. 10 minutes here. And this is what I was talking about for this mid-game strategy, that you really need to worry about the laning phases, because this is going to help you transition to the mid-game and determine how this is going to go. It's going to be so much harder for MA Mythic Ascension to force some of these fights with how big Taruni is going to be. He's sitting here at almost 5,000 gold here, has almost double the gold that NPC Baguette has.
Ooh, we're going to be seeing a fight down here in the bot lane. Bino going to be going for Edan. Edan does not have a flash here, so I think this is going to be Edan going down. Will Loco be able to get out as well? That's going to be a nice shot on that bandage toss, but there's too many things coming up. Yeah, it's too much CC, but Bino's going to be getting that kill there.
Yeah, they did, but that wave's going to be crashing in as well.
Ooh, Taruni now coming to top to come face Croissant. He has a lot of damage coming with him. He's going to be using All Out, trying to get after Pimp Squid, but Pimp Squid's kind of dodging through. Pimp Squid's going to be getting the pickup here on the top side. Taruni, just an absolute terror on this rift.
Yeah, when you're that large, you can rotate, force fights here. He's got a 20 CS lead. He's 5-0-1, trying to create a lead somewhere else just to make things even more difficult here. If Pimp Squid gets very large, we talked about how Croissant should be able to stop any split push here. But if a massive gold lead gets developed here, like there's only 300 gold short, if this keeps getting more ahead, he's in the positive end of the spectrum, it could be much more difficult for this split push to stop.
Ooh, Trudy going in for Bino. That's going to be forcing the flash out.
The depth charge steal as well. That's a powerful ultimate. No towers have gone down yet, but there's an Eye of the Rift Herald here that could be tearing through the rift. There's another 2 minutes left for them to get these plates to try and get even more of a gold advantage than they already have. 1,400 gold just sitting in the laning phase. That's quite impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah, right now this has been fairly kill heavy, but we've had some fairly good CS on the side of Poisonous Panthers outside of like Pimp Squid, but Pimp Squid is obviously in a in a counter lane, so yeah, he's still doing fairly well for that trouble.
And let's talk about the
I'm kind of interested to see the static shiv on Kaisa versus...
Yeah, I was going to point that out. Really trying to match this clear speed they're going to get out as well, and getting some decent poke damage with it as well. It's already done 160 damage to champions.
Uh-oh, they're going to get caught out, but Jeremy is also in trouble here on the mid side of the map. That's going to be a bandage toss trying to get to a teammate, but Taruti going to be getting the pickup now. Toupee having to use Featherstorm. Loco had the bonfire.
Yeah, getting out safe there, but the hook isn't going to meet it either. The feather pole isn't going to return any of that damage as well. Just trying to save it.
Watch Macau. He's going to be trying to come in from the sidelines. Right now, Taruni just trying to put in some damage in the mid lane. Baguette's low on mana. Now they're going to be going for a Bino. Bino is going to be in trouble, taking a fair bit of damage. That's going to be Glacial Augment proc, going to be stopping some of this damage. Bonfire coming through will be enough to burn. No. Toupee is going to be going down to Edan now. Can Macau get the pickup? No, he's going to be walking away from Bino. But Taruni trying to get this plate in the mid lane. Will be able to get it. Stealing the ultimate from Baguette. Will he be going for it, or is he going to be walking away? He has Jerry coming in the wings.
And they got more gold in the bot side with that push as well. The flash burn.
That's going to be a flash coming in from him. That's going to be a reversal potentially. Jeremy getting blown up. Boom. Coming in with the Shen. What a save. That's another double kill going over to the Silas. He is godlike.
8-0-1. Did you say those health bars? I didn't. Ended up getting absolutely deleted. And now we have a Mikhail's Soul Steal with 10 charges right now. It's just, they keep trying to force it so that they can catch Taruni out here, try and get those seals away, try and get that 1,000 gold if they're able to get it. And it just has never worked time and time again. It's just making Poison Panthers sink in their venom to try and secure this.
Okay, quick question. Who is Mikhail's?
Mikhail Soul Stealer?
Oh, Majai's. Okay, sorry.
Majai's, yeah.
Okay, I'm like, you have me confused. I'm like looking at the supports, and I'm like, I'm not seeing a Mikhail's Crucible here. Am I losing my mind?
I said 10 star. Yeah, I misspoke.
Wait, no, sorry. It used to be Mikhail's Crucible. It's now Mikhail's Blessing. My bad. But still, yeah, it's still crazy to be seen at Majai's at this point. I mean, obviously, you're just doing a great job.
Majai's at 14 minutes with 10 stacks. That's insane. Not to mention, we're already getting our second dragon right here. It's not even being contested. We'll have to see what Soul's going to be coming up.
Okay, Tarudi's just going to
be... yeah, with that, like, this is just casually happening here. He's just going to go all in. Electrocute is going to help that.
Well, that's going to be leg and drag attempt. That's going to be Tupe coming in from the sideline. Nah, he's not going to be trying to chance it. They don't see Taruni on this map. This could be potentially lethal for them.
So here's the really big thing. We've entered the mid game, and we're seeing a near, 6,000 gold lead at this stage. This is a very good formula to try and secure this. We already have 2 dragons. We have soul pressure as well, should the game go a little bit more late. Oh, looks like people are getting caught out. Are we going to get the flash?
That's going to be Curse the Sad Mummy. Not going to be enough. Macau's going to be getting that pickup now in the top lane. Pimp Squid's going to be starting to experience a lot of trouble. There's a lot more items on and Cassante at this point in time. There's a lot of standing gold on Shen. Shen needs to be able to get this back off here shortly, but Macau going to be trying to get a grab onto and Tupe unable to find it.
Yeah, this just makes things so awkward here. Poisonous Panthers is going to be able to force out a lot of fights just because the gold advantage that they have. It makes things so difficult. Of course, they can't take just any fight with how their kit's set up. But a lot of fights
that's
like
going to be Loco hitting that from downtown. Going to be using an ultimate, but that's going to be forcing a TP out from Baguette, trying to save his teammate, but they're just going to be walking away.
Yeah, Killer Instinct, not quite living up to its name right there, but doing decent chunk of damage, forcing out that TP as well from the mid lane. Baguette's not going to be having it. We're seeing, with all of that plays happening into the top side, we're getting a counterplay from Tarini, split pushing into the bot side as well. He doesn't have anything like a Lich Bane to really help this out, but he's still doing a decent chunk of damage just because of the lead he has. He's already got a 3-level lead, folks. 17 minutes into the game, 3 levels ahead of Mythic's mid laner, which is just a huge advantage.
Yeah, is over halfway to a Flame Horizon at this point as well. So this, Taruni is now going to be in trouble. Will this be giving up? Shen has to ulti. Okay, that's going to be Stand United going in on Taruni. Taruni's still alive, still going through, busting a lot of this damage to pay. Will they be able to get away using the Ghost? Yes, they will. Bino trying to get away as well. That's going to be Hook trying to get over to the wall, but Macau's going to be getting the pickup with the Cataclysm. That is just truly unfortunate for them, and it is 16-4 right now. You don't want to be too defeatist, too dire, but this is looking quite grim.
Yeah, it is looking quite grim. There was no getting out of that. The dredge line was going to hit the Cataclysm wall no matter how you got it, if Mako didn't end up killing him as well. We're almost to a full stack Magi's as well. The Soul Stealer almost at 25 stacks. My goodness.
This is a 3-item. This is a 3-item Silas that was in the middle of your entire team, minus Cassante, yes. But you still were unable to kill him. Yes, he had Shen. Like, it's Shen ultimate, but it's just, you sank everything into that, and you still couldn't even come up with a kill against him. So yeah, this is just going to be quite...
This is how dire the situation is. The bot laner for Poisonous Panthers is up a level versus the mid laner, who just hit level 11. That shared XP not even hitting him there.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Now, another interesting point here is we're not seeing a Mythic as well. It looks like they're going for a Natcher's second plus the static Shiv as well. So an on-hit Kaisa build, which is something I haven't seen in a while, but this attack speed is going to make sure she goes invisible when she casts her supercharge as well, that should be well and evolved at this point in the game with boots and 2 attack speed items as well, making it a little bit easier for the juke around all these abilities.
Yeah, I think they might be potentially looking for this just to have some poke, because otherwise they have 0 poke on their squad outside of Edan.
Yeah.
Like obviously at this point, Taruni is just blowing people up. But like,
and Nashor's also provides that 100, so you get the W evolve as well. So you can get more resets as well if people are not aware of that. So that 20-second cooldown goes down to like 5 at this stage if you end up hitting it.
If you hit, that is a good conditional, yes. But now, this is going to be the third dragon of the game. Rooney going to be stealing the ultimate. That's going to be Curse the Sad Moment. He's just going to get blown up instantly. It's not going to be at... Oh my gosh, Toupee unable to do anything. Now Macau's on a rampage. This is just absolutely brutal bedlam and slaughter. Taruni going to get hooked under tower. They could get CC'd into oblivion. Okay, not going to be coming through. Croissant, will they be going for this damage here? Edan just going to be pushing Croissant away.
Yeah, they've just been stalling things out. There's no jungle to smite this as well, and no one has burst. Like they don't have like a Cho'Gath topside who can just feast it, or a Nuno or something. No contesting. Hex Tech, so potent. Imagine this soul, how much they're gonna be able to stick to targets. The extra shocks just out of Static Shiv as well. You're never gonna get a rate from Taruni as well with Hex Tech.
Yeah.
It's not just the rotations, the slows.
Yeah, at this point, oh gosh, how do you...
And Baguette doesn't even have a Mythic yet. They haven't completed anything other than boots.
Yeah, there's kind of just scrambled across the board of what they wanted to do.
There is some good news for Mythic Ascension here. They have been showing out better vision scores than some of the enemy laners here. Their support is a better vision score. Oh, another fight.
Right now, Macau's going to be going into Bino, but Baguette, boom, gone.
Yeah, boom, gone. Support has a better vision score. Their AD carry has a better vision score. Their jungle has a better vision score. All very important factors as well, especially when you're behind, right? Getting better vision, just knowing where people are. Maybe you can't contest these objectives, but you know how many resources they're committing there, and you can make smarter decisions on where you want to challenge things or where you need to be on the map, so that you don't interact with them and try and get some of these objective bounties.
I mean, it's definitely nice to have the vision, don't get me wrong, but like right now you're just getting a better front row seat of watching Taruni blow up your team.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to
that's all the vision is like affording you at this time.
At least you know where Taruni is so you can avoid him. Of course, they're not choosing that option, which is part of the reason why I think they're winning here. They're trying to, have their cake and eat it too by knowing where he is and trying to pick him off, when they realistically should maybe be getting this bot tower so that the wave isn't so close to them, so they have a harder time pushing into them to delay this Baron buff benefit.
Objective bounty.
And then they get objective bounties. Like, there's so many good reasons to do this, because you saw how many people they committed there. Maybe this peels some of them off, so maybe they have to respect us. Maybe you get a pick, so one less person has Baron buff. Maybe you get the objective bounty. Like, it's not going to win you the game, right? But it's going to stem the bleeding, this hemorrhage that's happening. 11,000 gold, no objectives in sight, other than the one tower that you have. Yeah, I'm not going to even acknowledge it at this point. Like it's just like a broken record repeating. Oh, Haruni all in, a Baguette here and ate him alive.
Yeah, right now Baguette's going to be pretty close to the Tenet Death Power Spike potentially. Not playing the tried and true Yasuo for that strat, but is going to be attempting to reprise the role as Victor.
Yasuo was banned, so someone had to do it, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Now, with these waves crashing in here, it makes things super awkward because the waves are pushing in at relative times, so they have to choose which wave to respond to, and it looks like this one... Oh, Stand United is going to make sure he survives. Just a BM. Just kill him with their own ultimate silence. Like, holy cow. It's
here, hold this.
Almost at 4 items.
Oh my gosh. That was disgusting. And he just gets the free back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can almost hear the USSR anthem going, "No, our ultimate," as they take him out to the gulag.
Silo. Now I'm curious. Is that like public domain?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think most national anthems are public domain, but I don't know if all of them are. But okay, right now, Croissant, try to look for something. Bino. would suggest it. I would suggest it. They hurt a lot. I understand they don't have Taruti, but they still hurt quite a bit.
Yeah. Maybe it's because they've named their characters or their accounts after bread is why they're crumbling here in their base. These inhibs are just being challenged. Mid, of course, going down, collapsing onto this bot lane one. Probably going to get one more fight. We're going to see Tarini all in, use Curse of the Sad Mummy, or get a death cap and just do it in, what, 2 minutes from now.
Okay. What bread is named Jeremy?
Jeremy
Riddle
Baguette,
me that.
Croissant.
No. I get the rest of the team. But I'm just
Maybe Jeremy's the baker.
Ah,
Jeremy's
good point.
bread.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Wait. Toupee?
Toupee, it's French, right? They make a bunch of bread. They're known for it. Baguette.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm stretching the analogy here, but...
Yeah. No. You know, it works. Macau is just going to be flashing in. That's going to be double Cataclysm. That's going to be Jeremy using the ultimate. That's going to be Loco getting the pickup now. Taruti in this back squad is ignited, getting a little bit down to half health, but that's going to be the all-in coming in from Croissant. Not going to matter whatsoever. Bino is going to be getting the back off.
Music and rain not big enough, but the W!
From downtown, Loco's getting the pickup. Not even close, BB. That's going to be the 10 death power spike on Baguette at this point in time.
And he got his Mythic, too. A real power spike right there. The Luden's Echo. Gonna come in clutch 20 seconds from now. Don't forget that 50 extra gold is going to create a further lead and a game. Oh, no. Okay,
I thought they were about to do it to him. Okay. How do you think we have to like really give a post-game analysis on that? We just got to change.
By the way, if you're curious, Tarini, 13.5k gold. Baguette, 6.6 thousand gold. Doubled him.
Damn. Just damn. You hate to see it. But all right, we are just going to get ready for draft for game 2. We're just going to push it over to the talk scene real quick. Hello, everyone. We are back with the draft for Game 2. So, I don't know if there's many ways to say it, but I mean, there are many ways to say it. But let's just be simple about it. That was a stomp.
Yep.
So what do we have to switch up in order for this to work?
So I liked Mythic Ascension's game idea. The idea that they had with their draft. They ended up not doing it quite as well. I think understanding that Baguette might not be the stronger mid laner in this scenario, playing something that might be a little bit more safe. I'm trying to be respectful here. These are both like pretty decent players in their own right, but just finding something that might be able to play a little bit safer, so that as much of a lead isn't as gained into the laning phase, might be what they need to sustain versus Poison Panthers' quick game pace.
Oh, okay. What? Okay, yeah, they're going to be getting rid of the
Silas. Obviously should be banned, but
so what mid laner is safer than Victor?
Maybe like a Galio,
Orianna.
Like Galio.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
safe.
fair. That's fair. But if you do Galio, then you can like do some other pretty strong things there. But Rel is going to be the instant snap pick. So obviously she was very strong in 13-11, but going to be toned down a little bit for 13-12, but still a very strong champion.
Yeah, and last time we didn't see an engaged support being picked here. They're not necessarily going to show their hand. Kaisa does pair pretty well with Rel, just because she's able to reposition to try and get that stun from her E off quite well. That being said, Amumu can also be a pretty good peel option as well. My AD carry of choice whenever I fight Rel is Caitlyn, because I can just always outspace her. If she jumps in, i.e. it's the same distance that happens, I know exactly where she's going to land every time, so I can just trap her and do a combo for free every time she tries to engage. Even if it's a flash, you can just do the same thing plus a flash.
Yeah, ooh, they're going to be doubling down on the Amumu here.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Amumu
and it looks like they're trying to win through the bot lane here as well. They did have a CS deficit towards the early end, but I feel like Mythic Ascension is trying to put more foot on the gas earlier on so that they can have this lead that they need. And because of this setup right now, because they know of because Amumu could be in the bot lane. It's not necessarily just the jungle.
Yeah.
Right. This Rel Samira combo could just be the answer that they need. Of course, the best way to stop Samira from getting her S rank, dancing moves, everything, or her ultimate to continue going on is just to CC her. Mumu has instant response with it with Curse of the Sad Mummy, or Bandage is a little bit slower, but it will still prevent some of that, which can really help things as well. But it just looks like all in Poison Panthers. Yone, Fate Unsealed, Rel's kit, Samira's whole kit here as well. So we'll have to see if this is going to pay off. We know they can create a lead.
Yeah, I think an interesting option would be just Nami Lucian.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
Ooh, Malphite.
Okay. I was thinking Nami Lucian from just the standpoint of you're able to put a lot of poke out onto Rel, which will then kind of prevent some of that engage, because then if you have no engage, you have no Samira. So that's very important. But then also you have a great champion that just disengages a lot of these fights with the tidal wave, and then obviously, I mean, you do have the Aqua Prison as well, but that is just very potent.
Yep, you can certainly do that. Lucian does have a dash to help get away from stuff as well, but Samira also has one, and you know where people are going to be roughly. That being said, the wind wall that Samira has can make things a little difficult. So Lucian, I don't think is just going to be able to utilize Nami quite as much as you would want, because he can block all those autos, effectively nullifying his passive for a time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Put the damage on Rel.
Yeah, but it never feels good.
Poke Rel.
Yeah. But like with Lucian, you're so low ranged, and Nami's trade pattern can get her caught out. She's pretty vulnerable as well to some of those plays.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a strong bot lane though, right?
God,
and that's why it's just like so hard to come up with like the snap answer to it. This is where I would say, you know, it might not be the most optimal, but Lulu is on the table. Anyone goes in, it's the polymorph, and then you have a Malphite, a Mumu to counter engage. Can be a good answer to get some pickoffs from wherever they're going to be receiving their damage, and yours is safe.
Yeah, I mean, and I think another like option would be Senna. Senna outranges Samira and Rel. Senna puts the damage through Samira Windwall, and you're able to slow her. She's not able to really dive after you effectively. You wait for the Windwall to go down. Then she usually dashes through a bunch of minions. So she's an open field. She just used linear movement. It's very easy to hit that route. So
are we going to get an Ivern? We
yeah.
did. Ivern versus Nocturne. Very interesting.
This could be Ivern top lane. I've seen some videos on Ivern top for 13-12. Because they increased the W damage off of bushes.
I hope they fix the Ivern issue. Some champions like Jinx, your W just stopped working entirely. And with Hecarim on the field,
This is Ivern top lane.
Yeah, or I've seen AP Assassin mid lane with Yone top, but I doubt that's going to be the case here as well. Rumble, you know, man and a robot with a flamethrower, pretty good versus Tree Man. Bushes are very ignitable, but we'll have to see if this, you know, type advantage is going to be able to poke things out.
I'm kind of interested to see if it's going to be Rumble or Malphite in the mid lane. Because, like, Malphite, I think, would just... I think both of them would do perfectly fine into that matchup. Rumble obviously getting a lot of changes now, kind of like near a soft rework for this patch. But I think Rumble will definitely be doing better altogether, only losing 1 HP regen versus like then getting more armor, more health, and then just better overall passive. So
yeah, they could just wait. Once you hit the 30-second mark from the countdown, that's when you have to lock in here. So they could maybe wait to see where things are going to happen and then just switch where people are going to be. As a potential option here as well. But one thing I do want to highlight is both teams clearly have go in, right?
Yeah.
Akram wants to go in. Yone wants to go in. Rel, Samara, all want to go in here. Nocturne clearly is in the same boat here. With the rest of his team, can have some follow-up with Unstoppable Force, you know, in the Paranoia, etc., which can create some disruption as well.
My feathers.
Okay, I think an issue, like, I think it's a cool idea coming in from Poison Panthers. Like, I think they're going to be in a bit of trouble here because all their damage that they have is AD.
Like, Yone is mixed.
Yone, okay, 90% of his damage is AD, or like 85% of it's AD and 15% of it's AP. So yes, there is some AP that comes in. There's AP that comes in with Ivern. There's a little bit that comes in from Rel, but like in the grand scheme of everything, they're like fairly AD dominant.
Yeah, which means Malphite's going to be pretty potent.
Correct.
In that regard. And with a matchup like this, both teams have very similar identities, which makes this game snowballing. So like we saw in the last game, we saw an early game team take the early game quite hard, and this pushed the game to end relatively fast, right? It was like a 20, 21 minute Baron. I don't remember the exact timer off the top of my head, but just ended the game super fast. And when both teams want to do the same thing, the team that has the gold lead and or does its thing better will take this game. So the big question is who's going to get this gold lead early on?
Yeah, one thing I just want to note, Rumble is in the top lane and Malphite is in the mid lane. So
they have 30 seconds if they want to swap things out, but it's most likely to be that way.
So with all of this in mind, I think it's, in some senses, it's going to be very hard to, like, if Loco's caught out by themselves, then we just press our all, like, go in buttons. Because you have the Rel, because you have the Ivern, Like you have like some of these very strong disengage tools, also increased tank stats onto the Samira with the Rel in general. But there's so much like there's so many strong ultimates coming in from Mythic Ascension. Like I feel like they I feel like
we saw that
everyone's a
last
little
game
too green.
too.
Yeah.
We saw that last game. They have so many peel tools, but in the end, it didn't matter because of when Poison Panthers got their vision and how they executed this vision advantage that they had. It's not enough that they just made the numbers go burr. They actually knew how to use the burr that those numbers created.
Yeah, that's quite fair. So at top lane, I'm obviously just going to be interested to see how that goes. But in this earlier portions of the game, Macau, I think, is going to be able to set a early precedent and being able to shove out a lot of these, not shove out, get off a lot of ganks, potentially force summoners. And we could see a potentially going mid. I mean, we saw that Baguette was very much a weak link in that last game.
Yeah. Could be a pretty weak link here, and he doesn't have whole lot of mobility as well until he hits level 6 and gets unstoppable force. So could be shoved in, something Hecarim does quite well. Has pretty decent clear speed as well. I don't believe quad clears into gank are as popular anymore, or buff camp buff is a pretty good clear to get that level 3 power spike for a rotation to a gank. But we'll have to see if something like that gets pulled off. Metas change.
Yeah, at this time, I mean, Nocturne's a little bit slow on the first clear. So I think with Hecarim, you can storm through your entire jungle. You can get a full rinse, go for a gank.
Yeah, I would expect that. Riot's been pushing more for some of the farming junglers at least. I think at least this season and last season they try to like push that towards the end.
Correct. Yeah, Karthus has been one of the best junglers just for that reason because he has one of the fastest clears, but then also he's because of the speed in which he's able to rinse through his camp in the early game, then he's able to get a gank off, which in past seasons he hasn't been able to. So just being able to go and do that, and Hecarim I think is only about like 3 or 4 seconds behind Karthus. So with that in mind, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of early tempo coming in from him, but. I think the more interesting lane to be looking at out of all these, Samira and Rel versus Lucian and Mumu. Who do you think has that inherent edge?
Whenever I see engage lanes like this, because both Samira and Lucian are pretty volatile. Lucian's numbers are going to be a little bit higher towards the beginning than Samira's, especially because Samira kind of wants this combo. She really hits her stride at level 6 versus Lucian hits it way earlier for some of those power spikes, so he can use his passive a little bit more. Generally, the side that engages first is the losing side in exchanges like this, especially when Mumu has 2 abilities to engage with his bandage toss. So I think it probably favors Mythic Ascension slightly. That being said, I think the stronger bot laners ended up being on Poison Panthers. I said last time that there was going to be a bit of a wave push contestant here, and it ended up going over to Caloco because of that Storm Razor build. But even before then, they had a bit of a farm lead, and were still able to get some of these objectives early on as well and keep that. Extra spacing, they had more gold and more pressure into the bot lane, which led to them being stronger to the mid and late game as well before Zaya could pop off. There's other constraints to that as well, but those were some of the leading factors to it.
All right, well, I'm just going to push it over to Toxine, but we will just be back very shortly for the riff, and we're going to see if it's going to be a clean sweep or a possible kind of clap back from Mythic Ascension here. Hello, everyone. We are back. We did not swap sides at all. We are just getting right into this, and we are going to be seeing Poison Panthers coming into this top side. Going to be looking for an invade.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it ends up paying off. People usually see the bot side invade. Let's see if the 5-point defense comes out. MTC Croissant might have seen this.
Croissant saw it. Croissant absolutely saw it. So they're going to be able to walk away from this. And yeah. But this is going to be able to help them set up vision. And on the bot side of the map, we aren't going to be seeing Mythic go for any vision whatsoever themselves. So
yeah, that's the really interesting thing here. We're seeing Toupee rotate for this, recognize the back, and then just heading back to help Alicia's jungler here as well. This will potentially show where Mako is going to be starting, so they'll have an idea of where the jungler is going to be starting. It's going to be desync, so they're not going to be on the same side. They'll be on opposite ends. They'll be clearing in opposite directions, which means they might not be bumping heads during these ganks.
So in just looking at all these summoners across the summoners, keystones, and items across the board, any interesting ones that you want to make note of?
No heal in the bot lane here on MTC at all. It's Exhaust Ignite.
Actually, both sides.
Yeah, both sides don't have it as well. Good point. Baguette is going for a poke build with Comet. Same thing with both top laners here. Summon Airy versus Comet as well. And, oh, hold on. We have a disconnect here. Are we going to get a game pause? It looks like we are going to get a game pause. Going back to this short versus long fights here. Both junglers going Conqueror, trying to get that stacked up for longer fights. But, of course, MTC in the bot side wants short and fast with Press the Attack versus Conqueror from Calco.
Yeah, right now it seems that with the thought of going Conquer for Jeremy, that they're most likely going to be going for Stridebreaker just to try to extend some of these fights and then just get extra value from that versus the lethal tempo build that we have kind of seen in the earlier portions of Season 13. But with all of this in mind, I'm kind of surprised to see Baguette go for the cheese wheel build.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well. You just use so much mana when you end up going for it as well. And Tarini ends up having a decent amount of sustain. Dorian Shield really helps with this as well. And you just end up building like Vampiric Scepter as well to really heal things up as well, which makes it kind of awkward for you to deal with the cheese wheel strat is what you think. You think maybe he would want to recognize, hey, I'm just going to be on tank duty here. There's so much AD on the opposing side. If I can build some armor, use it like Aftershock or something else that's going to make me tankier for my team, all I need to do.
Yeah, but we are going to be seeing if that plays out in the same way. But for the jungler is going to be going the very much tried and true Gust Walker on Macau. Not surprised to see that, as Hecarim wants that good old movement speed. But Jeremy is going to be going for the Scorch Claw, kind of the redheaded stepchild of the jungle and pets. But is now starting to see a little bit of resurgence. They've been kind of pushing for some of the stats for that, also reducing the effectiveness of Moss Stomper. So I'm kind of happy sometimes when I do get to see Scorchclaw come through, because then it usually suggests that this jungler really wants to frag out. So I'm hoping. Oh, it's Scorchclaw. My bad. Words are hard.
Yeah, no. You don't see Scorchclaw pop that often anymore. So I'm trying to like refresh everything that it does. Of course, you obviously see Bulbasaur way more than Charmander here, at least in this game.
Yeah. Scorchclaw just gives extra damage.
What you want,
and damage, and a little bit of a slow. So,
yeah, just like the old Red Smite, right?
Yeah, no, old Red Smite was challenging smite, and that gave.
That was reduction. Effect. Yeah.
Yep. I think my favorite jungle pet out of all of them has been Gust Walker. Like just being able to just speed my way around the map as Elise and just keep blowing up everyone, that's just too much fun.
Yeah, well, I've seen it with fiddlesticks, whatnot, just being able to zoom out of your ultimate, scare everyone, fear them, really effective.
Yeah. I think the probably most effective ones that I've seen that on is Rengar or Kha'Zix, just being able to just hop in and out of that bush.
Yeah, that one can be pretty potent as well. It looks like Macau or the Hecarim player is asking for any Fiora mains in the chat. Ping one if you're a Fiora main.
No, I will not. No, do not give any respect to Fiora mains. Fiora mains, you are all silly little goobers.
Could be
and
worse.
I just want you to know that. Yeah,
could
you
be
could
Riven,
be Yumi
could
players.
Be Master Yi. Could be Yumi.
You know what? No. I think Riven players are filled with a lot of hate and vitriol, but at the end of the day, I think they're much better than some other like OTPs.
Yeah. If you ever want to get cursed out in a game, you just wait for a Riven top or a Vayne top. You know you're gonna get some things.
Nah, if you want to get cursed out, Draven.
A Draven? Yeah.
Why did I get a Penta at 4 minutes?
It's been 1 second. Where Penta? Question mark.
Proceed to ping team.
Puts IP address in all chat. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute now. No, so okay. To people in chat, who do you think is the worst, top 3 worst OTPs?
One trick ponies.
Yeah. I think Draven for me absolutely has to be on that list.
Worst one tricks. To like face or just like you just don't want to see him in your game?
To face or like you just they're toxic. To face or toxic.
One trick Callistas?
Oh.
Those can be pretty bad.
Yeah, those are scary.
Or like man.
One trick is ears.
One trick is yours. Those can be such a coin flip. You're like, oh man, they have 1,000,000 points. They can clearly do the combos here, and you watch them like flash screw up the combo in their turret and just die as they wall themselves in. You're like, oh man, someone
watch them brick the combo. It's just like, bro, what are you doing?
Bruh, what you doing? Yasuo, one trick Yasuo's. It's always been a trip.
All right, what do you think is scarier? One trick Yasuo's or one trick Yones?
Probably Yones.
Okay, yeah. I personally, I have to 100% agree with Tauga. Like, Yumi is terrible. Like, one trick Yumi players,
Kalista and Yas, yeah, dude. Anyone who has the mental capacity to one trick Yumi, I'm like, how do you do that?
Okay, Steve Bob has a good ad. Shaco. Shaco does make me lose my mind.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
One trick Shakos. Oh my gosh, you could watch them cackle. They're like, oh yes, I've seen Pink Ward do this trick once, and you're like, oh, you cannot pull this off. Oh, or they just like box, walk away, kill, and you're like, oh yes, the most skill. I am talented.
Okay, but like. Shaco, like I know that there's like kind of the effect of like sometimes people are like, well, oh, like when it's on my team it's really bad, but then when it's on the enemy team it's like really good. Never have I felt that sort of effect more than I have with Shaco players. Where that I feel like my Shaco's brain is dripping out of the side of his ear, like when he's on my team, and on the enemy team he's just godlike. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that effect with Yumi players. I've had all-ins where I'm like, I clearly win this, right? And then I watch the replay. I'm like, why was this so close? And I watch the Yumi never use Exhaust or Ignite in the entire fight multiple times. And I'm like, oh, God. Delete the cat, please.
All right, one I want to add in there is Rengar main.
Also, we should probably cover.
Yeah. Well, we're just Trudy's just going for a frag out, getting that first blood. Loco now gonna be in trouble. That's gonna be a double flash coming through. Toupee gonna be getting the kill now. Edan in trouble, exhausted and ignited. Both sums on him. Will he be able to get out of this play? Is remounted onto the horse. Yeah, going to be getting away from that.
You asked me earlier in this set who ends up winning this fight, and like I said, MTC has the advantageous side here. The cleanse and the flash ended coming out of their AD carry as well. Of course, 3 sums is more than 2, which is quite the cost to get the returning blow.
4 sums.
But 4? Oh, I guess I don't really count Hex Flash
is
now.
Well,
I know.
Regular Flash was used, but right now there's going to be Edan trying to go in onto this, going to be putting a lot of damage into Toupee. Bino and Toupee now down to half health, but that's going to be Nocturne going in for that topside scuttle.
Yeah, the exhaust also coming out as well. Mako.
Okay.
Have a little harder.
Like, I understand, like, the cutesy option of, like, having Ivern top, but, like, right now he's just absolutely getting sauced on. Just is blowing through mana, but Macau going to be shoving in this mid lane, going to be pushing Baguette through. That's going to be Flash coming in from Baguette. That's going to be missed from Taruni, but that's going to be Flash from Taruni. Now, that's a double kill already onto Baguette. And a blink of an eye, that... Ugh.
4 minutes,
Malphite is now Malphite is just in trouble.
Yeah. Roregi. And this is what I was talking about here. Like the comic book, it's just not gonna work. We've seen 2 all-in potentials. We saw people show up, and this is just how it worked. Oh, press the attack, putting in the work here into the bot lane, making it so much more difficult for Loco.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very hard. This is gonna be a very hard road to hoe for Loco. Oh my gosh, just being able to just sneak in behind there. That's gonna be despair getting the pickup there.
Yeah, not going into the 80 carry, but an assist is still gold, and more importantly, it's denying any of experience that might be going in as well. Oh my god. Wow.
Bino, could you miss, please? Otherwise, we are going to have to check for scripts after this game. Wow. Just going to be setting up this bot lane. And
yeah, exactly. This is going to be a good counter push. They have some heavy weight here as well. Obviously, it doesn't scale as well as Yone. But we'll have to see if they're going to be able to match it here. It'll still be a little bit more difficult for them. Interestingly enough, Loco has gone for serrated Dirk, so lethality potentially coming out of her.
Right now, Macau's going to try to put some damage into Baguette in the mid lane, but now Bino is going to be coming in with the bandage toss. Will that be enough to kill Macau? That's going to be Ignite on him. Will he be able to heal up enough? Will not be able to. Now Taruni's trying to go for a kill. Taruni's quite low. That's going to be massive shutdown going over to the Lucian. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Good options in the flash. Which is coming out as well. That shutdown, very, very important. Let's take a look at some of this gold that's been created because of these plays. A wonderful roam by MTC here. They're up 1,000 gold by their support. They're up 1,100, more closer to 1,000 gold for their bot lane as well. Flip side, they are down a 1,100 gold in the mid lane as well. Jungler, they're down another 500, and they're up another 400 to the top side. So it's a net 600 for them, with this objective also being taken.
Yeah, equalizer are going to be used in that top side. Okay, right now Pimp Squid is just in trouble. Like,
yeah, not pimping.
Yeah, definitely not pimping. And uh-oh, Loco's in trouble. No. Okay, you have to win wall that, Loco.
Yeah.
What is Loco doing? You have to win wall that bandage toss.
If you don't, it's just not good news. Oh, no. Their fate's getting unsealed in the jungle here. That spell shield ain't gonna be enough to collapse.
Also, I do not know why stream is paused for me. Okay, no, it's working now. It's working now. Okay, I'm like, I thought it was paused for a second. I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Up. Oh.
That's gonna be Macau coming in from the sidelines. Bino could be in trouble. That's gonna be a stun coming in on Macau. They weren't able to get a pickup. Bino is gonna be ignited, but is not gonna be burning alive in this situation. Now Toupee coming in from the sideline. Gonna be putting in some damage.
Yeah, putting in some damage. The volatility of this game is quite large. Both teams have a player with 4 kills right now. Now, first completed item is going on to the 80 carry here. Storm Razor going to be able to stick onto targets more than you normally would. We'll have to see what mythic they go for. Remember, Navori Quick Blades is now a mythic, so you can't necessarily go for other items you might be wanting to go for, where you get all those dashes that you might be going for. Maybe you'll go for a Gale Force on top of what he normally does.
Gale Force was kind of kind of soft nerfed in this particular instance, so it might not be as good as it once was.
Yeah,
but
the mobility is what you really take it for.
Ooh,
of course,
Baguette's gonna be going down.
Taking that as well. Baguette getting sliced in half. A nice little rock sandwich.
Yeah. So I think this is just gonna be the Taruti show versus Toupee. Toupee and Bino. I like that's what this is just gonna be. I've seen very okay. This is gonna be Taruti Macau versus Toupee Bino. Because like Macau is just setting up a lot of these ganks across the board, is just kind of setting this early tempo. Jeremy has just been kind of MIA.
Yeah, he is level 6 now, so the paranoia could come into play here. But he's going to have to be careful here. He just kind of needs to get a lane ahead. He either needs to be able to dive with Croissant into the top side, try and get Rumble ahead, because he's an early game champion here, and he's not going to be as strong to the late game as people might like. Or he needs to get another early game champion to be even more ahead to potentially put out the damage he needs. Otherwise, Mythic Ascension's fate is going to get unsealed by Tarini.
Ooh, that's gonna be a nice little poke in the mid lane, but we have Jeremy in the wings. That is gonna be spread out by that ward, so not gonna be committing too much.
No, I know you were talking about Pimp Squad here. Obviously going to be bleeding some farm here. Was down, what, 400 gold not that long ago. But you got to remember, like, some of these old Trust Me Bro top laners where it was just like support Soraka in the top lane here, where you just kind of bing chill here. But you really do help set up some of these massive players, make them even more unkillable, even bigger, add some CC, and everything else you get out of Enchanters here, just more survivability. If Tarini is harder to kill, like we saw with the Shen pick earlier, it could be enough to close this game out, right? Like, Bork obviously is going to be picked here. The extra mobility, the shields, the cleanse you get from your E as well. We'll have to see if it's going to pay off, though.
Okay, yeah, you're quite right. It's a little bit too early to judge and tell, but
you never pick Enchanters for the laning phase. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Morgana.
Yeah, Morgana, Lulu, I guess, in some matchups as well. But we're talking like top lane Enchanters as well.
Okay, yeah. That's big fair. Ooh, that's going to be Trudy just going to be using the Unstoppable proc, getting away from Curse of the Sad Mummy, and that's just going to be just saving that 300 gold shutdown. So Bino used a massive ult there at the beginning of that. Are they going to be trying to contest it? Nah, Macau is just going to be clearing the top, so it looks like they might just be giving up this drag or just kind of trying to posture mid at this time. But I think they're a little bit scared because Loco is not very strong, but Taruni is going to be shoving in the mid lane. Baguette does have Unstoppable Force. Paranoia
they have
is
a lot
active.
of heal, too, from Edina. You have to be careful. Both teams not to clump up here, as there's a lot of AoE ultimates that can take advantage of this Rumble out. Unstoppable Force. Of course, Curse the Sad Mummy's down. The Gravity Force Edan has. Fate Unsealed. All of these big play-making tools in these tight choke points. No one's committing to this play yet. They're waiting for these waves to equalize out. Make the decision there.
All right, they're going to be starting up this dragon. They're going to be throwing Daisy into the front line. Bino going to be jumping into the back. That's going to be Paranoia used. They're kind of split at this point in time. That's going to be Flash coming out from Taruni. Edan in trouble, unable to get away from that, and is just going to get bursted down. Bino looking for a potential grab over the wall. Pimp's good to try to put out that damage. Has Daisy getting some of these knockups. Will it be enough damage? Taruni's still on that sideline. Macau is going to be jumping to the back line. Not enough yet. That's going to be Taruni going in, but is stunned up. Not going to be going down. Loco is trying to get a kill. Can they get the ultimate? Yeah, that's going to be the ultimate coming through. Can they get resets? They will not. That's going to be And to pay just now 5-0.
Yep. Part of why this ends up happening here is Mako got that flank, wasn't able to put up the damage to secure things. We saw Loco just got their Mythic here, so they didn't have that invulnerability proc that they needed. Of course, it's no longer the invisibility. If that would have happened, they would have been able to potentially do a better all-in for what was going through. So they just ended up getting picked out, and it just wasn't a good play for them. It ended out. And now we're seeing this in the gold spectrum, 1,000 gold difference here. Of course, both teams not healthy enough to take the dragon, so this is going to delay this happening as well, which could delay this last mythic, or not last turret plate, I should be saying, it's not mythic, into the mid lane here if that tower falls, which could really unlock Torini.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, do you even want to go for this dragon as Panthers?
I don't think Panthers needs to.
Yeah.
They need to play around where they're strong, and this is the mid lane. If they can get a good pick, maybe not just an ability that's super crucial, but a good pick and the vision to support that, they can get a lot more. That being said, the strategy they used the last game isn't quite as applicable because of the top lane they ended up picking here. They have an enchanter. They need time to get things online.
Yeah, Bimsquid's just get continuously burnt down, but Loco in trouble. Baguette putting in the damage. Cheese Wheel coming in, gonna get the shutdown off of Loco.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Oh no, Taruni's gonna be missing that. Gonna be getting the shutdown off of the Lucian though. But now, so that's a massive amount of gold being given over to him.
Yeah, the thing about being an AD carry is you really aren't a full champion until you get like that second and third item here. But these, the Wind brothers here.
God, Daisy doing some damage there.
Yeah.
I know they increased the damage, but
yeah, you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
Like I was saying though, like these mid laners here are going to do more damage early on. If I had a dime for every time I was able to do that, I would be a billionaire. TP flank happening in the top side.
Oh, Pimsquid. Not available. Oh, Pimsquid. What are you doing?
Nah, he's fine. He is the root.
But you still have the speed up. You have the speed up and slows with Croissant in the long run. Okay. In the long run, could be in trouble.
No, it was perfectly safe. Just gotta land the roots and you're all good. Looks like we're trying to play for the Rift Herald right now. No towers have gone down. All the plates are gone, of course. The early game has ended at the 14-minute mark. 2,000 gold lead, favoring Poisonous Panthers here. Not quite as large, but this is going to get extended. Torini is just unstoppable. 7-1.
Yeah, this set, okay. We don't even need to address it in the post game. Like, Poison Panthers absolutely. Oh, this could be Macau in trouble. That's gonna be the Fearway. Bino trying to get go for the foul, unable to do so. Pimpsquid gonna be throwing down Daisy. Daisy's now getting Croissant down to half. Edan in the middle of all this gravitational field. Trudy now putting in the damage behind the scenes. Here he comes. Baguette's gonna get Wither and just kind of worn on down. Daisy still thwomp, smash, boom. Pimpsquid getting that kill. Croissant gonna be walking away from this. Bino's trying to be coming in from the sideline. But what I was saying before, Tourney, 100% going to be the top player for Poison Panthers. Uncontestable, yeah?
Yeah. Pretty uncontestable. Okay. Unless they end up losing this game and then someone else shines them into the next, then you could argue that they might be in that scenario. Oh, my goodness. The rotations, the power plays. They already have the mid lane turret here, enabling all of these roams. Rift Herald being used here, probably going to take it as well, funneling more gold onto this powerful champion that is Yone. Almost hitting 10k gold at this point. Has 3,000 gold on him right now.
We stopped a bandage toss. Let's go.
Yeah. Getting another charge here as well, taking jungle camps. he's going to get the second item right now. 18-minute second item here, especially if it's going to have crit, is going to really, really help them as well. And it's a Zeal item, so more than likely will. It's like Gale Force.
Yeah, I think this is going to be PD. Oh, okay, Gale Force. Gotcha. I thought it was going to be PD because Gale Force was nerfed. But, I mean, hey, being able to have an extra dash on top of a very mobile champion is just very, very hard to get away from.
It's what we call the Akali cosplay.
Yeah. Just going to be bringing in a lot of anime weeb sounds just to dive into this back line. Taruni going to be putting in some of the damage here. Edan trying to get some pokes through. Pimp Squid. You know what? I did not trust the tree. I didn't believe in the tree.
Yeah, be the Lorax, Verdant. Although maybe not in this case, as the tree is coming down.
I think the tree's getting equalized right now.
Yeah.
Burned alive, blinded. Yeah, didn't stand a chance there. I'm like, but I think Pimp Squid is doing significantly better than I thought it would be doing. Rooney coming in from the sideline, trying to do some damage. That's going to be forcing a flash out of Toupee. Toupee does not have summoners now for this fight. Macau trying to look for an angle, unable to find it. Now they're just going to be shoving in. Ooh, Rooney.
Yeah, snuffing things out into the mid lane here as well. Dragon coming up in 1 minute. These power spikes going to be very important here. Macau ended up going for that Trinity Force, which I find pretty interesting here as well. I don't see that quite as often on him, but it looks like it's been working pretty well. Only has 1 death and has been able to support this team. Only has almost has a 50% kill participation here as well. Very hard to do that when your mid laner's just taking over the game.
Yeah, being able to like looking since 13.10, where Trinity Force got a little bit more. Ooh, actually, wait, Croissant is in trouble. Macau is going to be starting to put out that damage. That's going to be ultimate coming in from Macau. That's going to be flash coming through. Croissant going to be forcing ultimate out of. Okay, is this going to be enough damage? Oh my gosh, Taruni, that is disgusting.
Yeah, the onslaught of shadows falling into the Fate Unsealed was enough to secure that kill here. And with that pick, they're going to be able to trade Baron for the Dragon here. Now, this will mean Mythic will be on Soul Point here, which is going to be effectively permanent stats for a temporary 4-minute buff. So this means that Poisonous Panthers is committing to getting some towers to create permanent pressure into the game. This won't give you direct stats other than what the gold provides, but will make it harder and harder for these next coming dragons to happen, should they even be spawned, meaning they might be able to take this game away in the next 4 to 5 minutes if they play their cards right. It'll be very difficult, don't get me wrong, with the amount of wave clear that they have with Croissant.
Yeah, I mean, right now, at worst, he has to commit Equalizer to a lane.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're going to be able to burn through it. But I think that
the thing to consider here is Croissant's strongest in the early game and starts to fall off. We've hit the mid game, and with the 6,000 gold difference being hit, almost 7,000, you can just pop Croissant, and now you don't have as much wave clear, which can really choke you out into your base.
Whoa, okay, wait. No, I was talking to the early game where it's Conquer on Nocturne.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go. He didn't go for Stride. He didn't go for an item.
He went for Eclipse.
I think that feels like the wrong choice.
I
a little bit.
I wasn't entirely sure.
That's gonna be Paranoia jumping into Loco. Loco now getting down to half health with the fear. Will go through. That'll be a cleanse coming through. Loco trying to dive in. Will be able to get the ultimate off. Is now dashing through. Get a double kill so far. Are they able to go for the triple? That's Loco not Loco getting the triple. But Loco going to be surviving through that. That's going to be 2 double kills going over to the side of Poison Panthers. That's going to be full ace. And now Pimp Squid is shoving in the top. Pimp Squid, did Pimp get a kill top? Or no, Big Gat was already dead.
Yeah, Baguette was already dead there. He's been 2 and whatever for quite a while now. And with that ace, that's what I was saying, right? Like, boom, you take out Croissant, and now you have no wave clear. And this just means a bunch of towers going to go on, and there's going to be a lot of pressure. You're going to have open inhibs in the mid lane and top lane for the rest of the game. Sure, this isn't the stats that Dragon provides, but the 6,000 gold lead has been created to a 10,000 gold lead just because of this Baron buff. And when you have this much of a lead, you can force out pretty much any fight you want to prevent objectives like this happening. And I gotta say, 3 dragons when the 4th one's spawning at 25 is very fast, right? And they might not be able to get it. They've been taking them super fast from Mythic Ascension, but it just isn't enough right now.
Yeah. Also, one thing you mentioned about the wave clear, we are now going to be seeing Aesthetic Shiv onto the Yone.
Yep,
I mean, we had it last fight, but that's going to be helping for wave clear. But now has a stopwatch, so is going to be considering going for that Guardian Angel, which I think is perfectly fair and valid.
You could.
All things considering.
You don't feel...
Croissant, you are in trouble. That is a lot of CC coming through, and that's going to be equalizer used.
Yeah, you don't have to commit to the Guardian Angel here. Longsword doesn't build into it. It's, your armor plus the big sword as well, the BF sword. You can just take it just to make sure you don't die and give the shutdown gold lead the rest of your team cleans up from your all-in play, right? It's just a safety measure.
Going in for the Fate Unsealed into the back line to pay. Going to be Dove, but that's going to be stopwatch used. Now that's going to be Pimp Squid in trouble. That's going to be all this damage coming in. Bino's going to be getting that pickup, so that didn't even go over to a carry.
Didn't go over to a carry. They ended up picking up an Enchanter at this stage. We see Tarini utilizing that stopwatch, kind of like they talked before, ended up using that Ignite, but still relatively healthy because of Blade of the Rune King as well. Now, because Mythic didn't go back to heal here, this re-engage can happen.
That's going to be unstoppable. Proc going to be forcing the Bandage Toss to pull Bino through. That's going to be at the cost of Edian's life. Bino was low, but unable to get that pickup there. Unable to close out that kill.
Yeah, we got some health back onto some of these crucial champions. And some revive timers here as well. Making things, being able to rotate to these plays. That being said, they have to respond to these waves because of how low their turrets are. There's a wave pushing to the top side, so they're not going to be able to create time to get this dragon. And this is what I was talking about earlier. There's no way you're going to be able to challenge this dragon. Now, this 10,000 gold lead has dropped to a 9,000, which is good news for you. The gold deficit is decreasing, but however, with this dragon, it's not going to get... It's going to change up again, right? They just weren't getting farmed for a little bit, so it's just kind of like artificial.
Yeah, at this point, how do you come back from this? Like, you had that ridiculously great early game.
Yeah, you had a fantastic early game here. They didn't utilize Tape enough to get a W here. They can't challenge Tarani at any stage here, and we're just going to watch this man get caught out and die here as well. Didn't have the vision. And when you're this far behind in League of Legends, you have to recognize you don't get to make decisions. You wait for the enemy to throw and win from there, or you just don't win.
Yeah,
I hate to be doom and gloom, but 10,000 gold, pretty big, pretty massive.
Yeah,
3 items.
Okay, like the other big thing I want to like make a note of is I really think it like a lot of these things are just coming down to Macau just having significantly more impact than Jeremy. Mm-hmm. Jeremy has had just very little impact in the set altogether. But compared to the
how much
counterpart.
Paranoia did we see? Very little.
I think like 3 or 4.
I mean, take for granted, 27-minute game, not as long. Counterpoint, 2 levels down behind the jungle, 1 level down behind in the top lane, levels behind in the mid and bot lane, support as well. Like, these are all big factors. Objectives and objective bounties and other bounties get you gold. You never get that XP back. Right. Once you start bleeding XP, that's when the real pain comes in.
All right. So, right now it seems that they I'm able to get an interview with Taruni and Macau. If anyone has any questions for these fine folks, send it to us in chat, and then we can ask them. Obviously, keep it appropriate. This is live air, so we are limited on what we can or cannot say. So, but that's going to be a clean sweep going over to the side of Poisonous Panthers over at Mythic Ascension. That's going to be kicking Mythic Ascension out of the Ixtal division here in this losers bracket.
Yeah, quarterfinals. Clearly, the Panthers deserved with how well they were performing tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get that link, good sir, and then I can get that sent over to them?
Oh, Video Ninja. Okay. Well, all this is going on. Does chat have any questions that they're trying to reach out?
Not that. No, I'm not seeing a single question from chat yet. They're letting me down.
They're letting you down, letting the one and only VerdantChaos down.
Yeah. How dare you guys? How couldn't you be my Rick Astley's?
Yeah, exactly. Chat, you just got rickrolled. How does that make you feel? How much brain power did Sano use during this series?
Okay, I think you gave me the wrong one.
Yeah, I gave you the control room one, so you can use the whichever one you need.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Copy. Bam. Cool.
Oh, you didn't mean Sano. I mean Tarani. Gotcha. Yeah,
well, Sano. Yeah, Sano's his Discord name.
Gotcha. A jungle versus jungle matchup. Yeah, that's always an interesting one. How that felt, because obviously, as viewers and spectators, we get to see everything, right? We don't get to see all the fog of war effects that are in League of Legends that creates the challenging parts of jungle here. So I really like that question.
I do like that last question. Yeah. That definitely was one thing I was going to be asking about at some point. I was I was wondering, at what point did Loco learn in the game that you could actually win wall the bandage toss? I think that's an important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. Live by the wind wall, die by the wind wall.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, I can hear you.
Awesome.
How you doing, man?
Doing good. Come off a hot win. Always feels good.
Always feels good to come off a hot win like that.
Oh, and how are you feel?
Yeah. How are you feeling about that set? I mean, obviously,
were you feeling more comfortable with game 1 or game 2?
The game 1 draft honestly was kind of scared of their team comp because they played really heavy team fight. But we played really well and kind of shut that down early, so they didn't really get a chance to snowball the game. Which was really helpful for us. So, Taruni popped off on the Silas early game, and so
absolutely, I loved that pick. When I saw that, I'm like, oh man, there's so many ultimates to steal here, and you got the lead. It was just so hard to team fight.
Yeah, I mean, he was the only source of AP really on our team other than Kaisa, the hybrid damage, but he had some great ults to steal, and he played the early game extremely well. So he made the game easy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was kind of a 6v4. I mean, Victor sadly okay went 0-10-0, so it just made Victor just completely unable to positively impact his team whatsoever.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he had a 4-level lead in the first game at the end of it all, and
double the gold.
Yeah, our bot lane played really well.
So was the idea to play through your bot lane for game 1, or did it just, hey, Taruni's ahead, let's just keep him going ahead? Because I know that you had that early gank there, but what was your thoughts going into the game?
My early thoughts going into the game was I want to hover my bot side early in case of an invade, and so that's why I started my red buff. on blue side, and then from there I kind of have flexible pathing, so I can go red with Jarvan especially. I can go red Raptors, look mid for a level 2 gank if it's available, or I can circle back down and go Krugs, or I can go red Krugs Raptors, look mid, or look bot. And so I really just care about getting my Kaisa and Silas ahead of that game. Shin's really out on an island, and so I'm kind of just leaving him there to do his thing with Cassante until he hits level 6.
So Wet Noodle fight in the top side.
Yeah, Wet Noodle fight in the top side. He can handle Cassante early game, so I wasn't too scared. And then his ult is just extremely impactful in fights. So it's we had a good strategy.
How was the team feeling about the new Kaisa build? It's been a while since we've been seeing her with all the AD carry changes in the Mythics.
Oh yeah, Loco's a big fan. Loco's a big fan of the kind of hybrid on-hit Kaisa. So I think she's in a really strong spot right now. I think the rest of the team would agree. So we really enjoy the Kaisa pick.
Yeah,
and he's comfortable on it, so it's good.
I remember everyone losing their minds when the Rageblade build came in, and everyone wanted to try like AP Kaisa. Has your team experimented with that at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Loco likes to do is go Nashor, Static Shiv, and then into Rageblade, and I don't think he got a chance really to get the Rageblade in that game. I think that's third item for sure. I think the non-mythic items are really strong right now, and so a lot of times you'll see a lot of champions rush non-mythics.
Yeah,
it just works a lot better.
Sunfire Aegis the top lane, Stormrazor into the bot lane.
Yep, you saw the Lucian rush Stormrazors in that game.
Just so good.
So a question from chat. How did you feel about that jungle versus jungle matchup?
Man, I felt really confident because we played them in a prior series, and so Jeremy playing against him, he typically doesn't like to do anything that's too crazy. He plays really passively, and so it kind of frees up my ability to make decisions proactively. So I can either go for a gank, and I know I'm going to be the first one there, and it's kind of reactionary, so I can get the damage off. We can kill someone, then it's 3v2, or he stays on one side of the map for too long, and I was like, okay, I'm going to punish, and I'm going to take his top side because he didn't clear that or whatever it is. And so, yeah, I felt really confident in the matchup. I think, especially after the first game, I kind of figured out what his game plan was. And
yeah, in game 2, were you nervous at all about like all those dragons that were being able to be stacked by Mythic there at all, or are you just like, we have the gold we need to try and end this out?
At first, I was a little bit nervous about kind of how the bot lane matchup was going.
Yeah,
it was a little rough. It was a little rough early on, and I was pathing towards bot side, and so I would get down there like, oh my gosh, my bot lane died. What do I do? But Malphite usually was pushing up in lane and had prio, so it made the mid ganks pretty easy, and I was really confident in our 2v2 against Nocturne Malphite with Yone Hecarim. So
yeah,
it was good.
And
our
So
and our bot lane too really stabilized, which helped a ton. They played really well from behind.
So who was the one who finally told what was it, Loco, that he was able to actually win wall advantage toss?
I think he finally figured it out. He managed.
Okay. I'm like, we watched a lot of them just go through. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah, I think he figured it out later, but he was good. He blocked one from vision pretty close up, and Mumu was in a bush and he blocked it.
I see Loco saying the max range ones were BS. And lollipops, I feel that, man. The only thing worse is when your teammate gets hit by it and then he presses R and you're like, well, know where this is going.
Yeah, Mumu was really strong. I think he's a great flex pick, and they flexed him that game. So I think that was a wise decision from their draft. But man, the Ivern top. Let me talk about the Ivern top.
I was gonna say I had zero faith in that, honestly.
Man,
and it performed better than I thought it would, but it still, I think, is lackluster.
The bushes did their job. the bushes were so impactful on getting those heralds and Baron. We could just burn through objectives so quickly and take fights that we have no business taking because of shields and CC from Daisy. So it's a pocket sleeper pick for sure. I'm a big fan of playing with it.
I'd say Daisy was definitely strong, but I'm like, was it so much like Daisy or just Yone, like just Taruni just being absolutely fed?
I've had a little bit of both. A little
Yeah.
bit of both. Yeah, I mean, Taruni is so good at he's very aggressive and really plays aggressively, which is fun for me because I know a lot of times he's going to have prio or he's going to be trading heavily. And so it makes my job as a jungler a little bit easier because I can look mid and be like, oh, this guy's down to 1/3 HP already, and it's my camp just spawned. So he gets ahead early. It's either boom or bust. Usually it's boom. So
fair enough.
we take those.
So and what was your team's thoughts for just the new rel? Feeling good, feeling comfortable?
Yeah. I know Eden's played rel in the past, even before the buffs. So this is kind of icing on the cake. I think she just plays really well into our style of play. Having a support who is controlled and patient with engages, her ult is extremely impactful in fights, and Eden is very patient with it, which is the correct thing to do. So we like to rail Samira combo right now. Samira's in a great spot as well as the Kaisa.
Yeah, I think that the combo has been very effective in the past. Obviously, joking aside and rough start aside, did really come back from a very large deficit in that lane.
Yeah, I mean, Loco got to side lane for free because they kept pushing and taking these mid fights against a fed Yone, and we killed the Lucian, and they have no more damage. The Nocturne was behind; he gets blown instantly if he goes into the fight, and so really, Amumu was, in my opinion, the most impactful player of that game, just because of his CC, and I mean, he dominated the early game, had put pressure on the map, and he was really good in team fights. So,
I mean, it
oh yeah,
wasn't
didn't say we didn't talk about the ace yet, but okay, for me personally, ace goes to Bino, like hands down. Like game one did fairly decent as Nautilus.
yeah.
Obviously they got rolled, but at least had the vision line set up and was constantly contesting vision and doing a good job in that sense. Beat out Milio there, and then for the game two, obviously just continuously set up the bot lane, was getting off good looks at least. So I think Bino 100% was the ace for Mythic in my mind.
He played really well with his ADC. I mean, he sacrificed himself a lot for his ADC, which is commendable.
Yeah, and it was a good anchor too for the team, right? Really helped them stabilize and.
Haha, I get it. Nautilus, good anchor.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, I think that's. Do we have any other parting questions? I am not going to ask about his passport at all. Do you have anything, Abba, or are you all good?
I think I'm pretty good. It was very successful set. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for casting. It's a lot of fun. This is our first casted game for Poison's Panthers. So thank you.
I'm
doing the honors.
Sorry, it was cursed from the start.
That's because Amumu was in there. Hopefully we get to cast you again. Maybe the finals.
Who knows?
We'll have to see.
Lower bracket run. Bring us to the rematch. That's what I want to see.
The revenge.
I want NWA back. There was some NWA enjoyer in the chat. I want him again, please.
All right. Well, with that in mind, thank you very much for joining us, Macau. But that'll be Abba and I signing off for the night. Have a good rest of your night, folks, and good luck on the Rift.